And let's let the sound of this next bell take us to the deepest place within us. Grand Rising, beloveds. I'm so glad that you're here this morning. I want to introduce first our musician for today, Bob Sima. And yeah, Bob is here all the way from Florida. Wow. And so Bob Sima is to music what Wayne Dyer, Don Miguel Ruiz, and Eckhart Tolle are to books, and Rumi, Hafez, and David White are to poetry. He is an award-winning singer-songwriter, spiritual teacher, and musical mystic who has been called Eckhart Tolle with a guitar. Now, yeah, it's so true. Travis and I had dinner with Bob last night, and when we left, I was sharing with him that he's the real deal, you know, and you all are the real deal too. It was just so cool to spend that time with you before today, but he had no musical training. His creativity, he has creatively channeled award-winning albums and built a national following. The music that comes through him will vibrate with your spirit exactly where you are. He is a troubadour, a way-shower, a guide, an awakener, and a musical mystic through the medium of melody. Are you ready? Let's give Bob some love. Woo!
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. I feel that. I just want to know. I want you to know I really feel that. I'm going to call this the Sunglasses Church. Is that okay with you guys? You could probably cut that monitor just a little bit down there, brother. So, pleasure to be here. I was thinking the same thing on the way home from dinner. Just what a great connection we had, and grateful to be here. So I'm going to start out with a song. I was told you all like to get up and kind of boogie a little bit and clap along. Is this the right place? All right, come on up, you guys. Let's do this thing. You ever get off your spiritual path for a minute, you know, somebody cuts you off in traffic, and your amygdala takes over, and you're like, I'm not spiritual, I'm really mad, and you need something to go back to? This is what I go back to. It's just like this. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. That's the whole song, come on. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. These are the things that we need. From the time you rise till the time you sleep, every step you take, every breath you receive, do these. And everyone you pass on, every street, every eye you meet, every friend you keep, do these. All right, hands together, come on, somebody start it out. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Come on, let me hear you. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. These are the things that we need. All right, my turn. And if you look back at the world from space, all you see is one human race. Do these. And if you stand in the shoes of another you, will find that these three things will set you free. You free. All right, come on, y'all, join me. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. These are the things that we need. Well, the world, it cries for your beauty inside. Can you hear it sing? Can you hear it scream? Do these. And in the face of hate, we separate. In the arms of love, we radiate. Do these. All right, last time. Hands together. Come on, let's do a hootenanny. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. 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 These are the things, these things we need. Woo! Well, thank you. I want to share a special guest with you this morning. I don't know if he's ever been here, or she. I'm not sure about that yet. So this is Travis's father's guitar, who it was said when Travis was growing up, it was the untouchable, I think. So, sorry, Dad. But I asked him to bring it because I play all these weird tunings. And I have, Reverend Elizabeth kind of in my ear like, hey, you think you can do that song? And I'm like, it would be a whole different tuning. Like, I need another, Travis, I need another guitar. He's like, I got another guitar. So I just want to bring in the spirit of your dad. Oh, and I just thought of the first line of the song. This is calling from the future, an echo of an ancient past, to all the peaceful warriors, to hear this call at last, to keep your head up and lift your heart to the sky. We're standing on the edge of the darkest day from which we can't retreat. So we rise for the ones who came before and dig in both your feet and keep your head up and lift your heart to the sky. Come on, y'all, sing it with me. And keep your head up and lift your heart to the sky. Be humble. Come on, sing it with me. Be humble, be hungry, be loved. For those who dare to dream this dream and keep the love alive, don't let anyone tell you can't change the world with your smile. And keep your head up and lift your heart to the sky. Come on, sing it with me. And keep your head up and lift your heart to the sky. And be humble, be hungry, be loved. Come on, y'all. Be humble, be hungry, be loved. Well, blame is not the game, and the map is not the terrain. So hear the call and feel the earth and find your own way. And keep your head up and lift your heart to the sky. up in the air. And keep your head up and lift your heart to the sky. Come on, sing it. Be humble, be hungry, be loved. Be humble, be hungry, be loved. Come on, y'all, take it. Be humble. Come on, one more time, a little bit louder. Thank you.
You see why I wanted that one? Wow. Oh, I was holding back tears. That was so powerful. And that song is like, that's your theme. That's like you. Humble, love, hungry for life, hunger for life and spirit, you know? Woo! All right, hello. Hello, Grand Rising. Actually, while you're on your feet, please turn to one another and offer the Namaste greeting. Namaste. Namaste to our tech team, Gina and Brian in the back. Thank you. Namaste to our love streamers. Blessings and love to you. And namaste to everyone. Hello. And as you take your seat, please also take a moment to silence your cell phones or whatever devices you have that make noise. And Grand Rising, beloveds. I say Grand Rising. It's just a different way for those of you who are new or forgot what we're doing with the Grand Rising. The theme for the year is really Grand Rising. And so it's just a different way to greet each other rather than saying good morning. What about, hey, this is grand and I am rising up into my day with glory and joy and excitement. Well, not excitement, let's say eagerness for life, hunger for life and spirit. So Grand Rising. I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and I'm the spiritual leader for Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living, and I use she, her gender pronouns. And the land upon which we gather here today is the unceded territory of the Chumash and Salinan people. And it is my joy to welcome you to the Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have been waiting for you. Yeah. So you can. And we have an affirmation for today, and I invite you to please repeat after me. My mind is a center of divine operation. My mind is a center of divine operation. And one more time, my mind is the center of divine operation. And so it is. And now we have our practitioner for today, BJ DiGirolamo, is going to come up and offer the Science of Mind reading and opening prayer. Thanks, BJ.
Good morning, everyone. So I am your practitioner today, and what that means is that for practitioners, prayer is our superpower. So I will be available after service out in the lobby if anybody would like what we call a 3-minute miracle. If there's something you want prayer over, I will want to pray over, I will be available in the lobby after service. And also, for if you would like prayer during the week, we have these salmon-colored prayer forms in your programs. You can fill one of those out and put them in the drop box over there in the prayer request box, and our soul support team will pray over those all week for you. Also, we have Reverend Wayne today holding the high watch for this service. That just means that he is in deep prayerful meditation and holding the highest consciousness for this service today. So let me get on to the reading. And today's reading is from the Science of Mind 365 Daily Guidebook. I am a manifestation of spirit. I commune with the invisible presence within me until there comes a certainty that is beyond hope, something that enables me to see the future as clear-eyed as I see the past. I have the joy of knowing I will live forever. I am aware of the divine within me. Peace, quiet, and confidence flow through my thought. I know that inspiration and guidance are mine. I permit myself to be moved upon by divine intelligence. Laying aside every sense of burden or false responsibility, losing all fear and uncertainty from my thought, I enter into my kingdom of good today. I know that this kingdom is accessible to all. I see through all apparent contradictions to the one perfect being in every person. I see through all confusion to the one divine presence at the center of everything. God's world is not a world of illusion, but of realities. All that exists is for a purpose of expressing life. This includes everything: a tree, a rose, my own physical body. Nothing can be excluded from this omnipresence. It was this presence that Moses communed with through the burning bush, the divine flame that surrounded the bush in an aura of light and color. This flame of divinity penetrates everything. God is ever flowing through me as perfect life. I am a manifestation of energy, the love, the peace, and the power of spirit. And so we just turn within now, knowing that that peace and power and that love of spirit is the one spirit, the one life, the one God, the one source of all that is. And I know that I am absolutely united with this source. I can never be separate from it. I am the tree. I am the rose. I am that lifeblood that penetrates everything. It is the spirit within me that walks daily with the spirit that is around me and through me always. I can never be separate from this one. And so I know that this service today is divinely guided and blessed in all ways. I know that the message that Reverend Elizabeth imparts on us today is something that will touch us in a way that helps us grow consciously and spiritually. And we've already experienced the divinity within Bob this morning through his music, the lyrics that touch our hearts and invite us to realize the truth of who we are. Spirit within each one of us, manifesting through our voice and song as we commune together as one. Oh, and so it is with a heart full of gratitude for this knowledge in this service today that I can just release these words into that law of mind, knowing that it's done. And Spirit says yes, and we claim it by saying, and so it is.
Thank you, BJ. Woo! Somebody said earlier, Spirit is in the house. And then I heard, Denise. I love Denise. Well, after much deliberation, because we like to deliberate about the message and the music, what's the best song? What's the perfect song? And so I got up at 4 a.m. Anybody else? Yeah. But it was 7 my time, so there's that. And this is what came through. I didn't write this song at 4:30 in the morning, just so you know. But I just heard in my mind, I could see Reverend Elizabeth with this activate thing going on and the power. And I'm like, well, I do have a song called Powerful. Duh. No one can show you something that your soul didn't already know where to find. No one can feed your mind something that wasn't already there on the inside. But they'll steal your watch and they'll try to sell you back the time, and they'll cover your eyes and tell you it's dark outside, but you all the wisdom, yeah, you all the medicine, yeah, you all the imprint of an eternal lesson. So don't believe every wise man who claims to know you better than you know yourself, and don't concede to the feeling that you're anything less than powerful. No one can tempt you with something that your heart didn't already know how to feel. No one can enlighten you, 'cause your light inside has always been real. But they'll steal your watch and they'll try to sell you back the time, and they'll cover your eyes and tell you it's dark outside, but you all the wisdom, you all the medicine, you all the imprint of an eternal lesson. So don't believe every wise man who claims to know you better than you know yourself, and don't concede to the feeling that you're anything less than powerful. Of an eternal lesson. So don't believe every wise man who claims to know you better than you know yourself, and don't concede to the feeling that you're anything less than powerful. That sounds like a sing-along. Powerful. Let me hear you guys. Powerful. To know you better than you know yourself, and don't concede to the feeling that you're anything less than powerful. Put your hand up on your heart, own it, come on. Powerful. Feel that. Powerful. No more hiding from it. Powerful.
Wow. Amazing. I feel like we're done. We could just be done. And so it is. This thing is flashing. Woo. Ooh, it's a flashing candle today. Okay? Wow. Well, I'm inspired. Wow, 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 wow. Powerful. You are powerful. Well, hello. Just got to compose myself for a moment here. Let's take a deep breath together. And another one. And one more. Yes. All right. Well, the seed of awakening for the month of October has been your invisible power. And yes, you are powerful. And the talk title for today is Actionize. Action, action, action. It's all about taking action. But first, I wanted to ask you if you know what a queasy pumpkin says. I don't feel so gourd. Or why do pumpkins perform so poorly in school? Because they had their brains scooped out. And lastly, why did the scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Thank you. I'll be here all morning. Yes. Now, on another note, my friends, you are a divine elephant with amnesia trying to live in an anthole. At least that's what Hafez tells us. What does that mean? I know, I got you a little shaken up over there. It means that, my friends, you are a divine being of light and love, sparkly and magnificent, amazing, wonderful, and fantabulously awesome. You're a mighty money magnet. You're healthy, wealthy, wise, and generous, but you forgot who you are. And you are living in some other way, maybe, that you have been trained to believe you are. But you're not that at all. I think that's what Hafez meant when he said, you are a divine elephant with amnesia trying to live in an anthole. Now, can you imagine that? A divine elephant trying to live in an anthole. That seems really uncomfortable, right? I mean, but don't we do that to ourselves sometimes? We try to keep ourselves small so we can fit in this little space and stay safe. But really, starting out today and the rest of this week, I would love for you all, and I invite you all to consider your interpretation of that. Meaning, where in your life have you forgotten who you really are? Where in your life have you forgotten your power? Where in your life have you forgotten who you are? This amazing, divine elephant trying to live in an anthole. My friends, it doesn't serve you or the world to play small. You are not an ant. And so, diving into the topic for today, I want to first talk a little bit about invisible power and the law. So, our invisible power is everywhere, okay? Our presence, there's one presence, one power, one life, one God, everywhere present. And in physics, we're talking about the non-local field or string theory. Have you heard of string theory? String theory tells us that what looks like space between us and the wall, between you and me, actually, what looks like emptiness is actually solid, and that it is actually filled with these dancing wavelengths of filaments of light, wavelengths of possibility, and that's all right within us. And so that tells me that everything that I want and dream and imagine for myself in my life, it's already right here. And so it's up to me to become aware of it. And so All of this space is filled with what Wallace Wattles, who is the author of the famous book, The Science of Getting Rich, he called it a thinking stuff. And there's another teacher, I can't remember who, but they called it spiritual protoplasm. And it's like Play-Doh, right? You can form it and reform it. And what all of the teachers in the prosperity books are talking about is that we have this thinking stuff that fills and penetrates and permeates the inner spaces of the universes. And there's all these wavelengths of possibility that float. They're woven together to actually form a thing, and that thing is called a thought. And so your thoughts have come into like collapsed into a frequency that is now in your mind and you're thinking it, right? And so a thought that is impressed by this substance or in this substance, remember there's all these filaments everywhere, right? It's filled, there's not actually empty space, but it's stuff. It's like the spiritual protoplasm, right? And so when we think our thoughts regularly and consistently, not just like one thought, elephant, hamburger, cow, right? We're not going to just have that all show up right there. This room would be full, right? It'd be very crowded, wouldn't it? And so what we're talking about is a thought impressed in this substance is like putting your fist into Play-Doh or molding or creating something with aluminum foil, right? You can create something like in foundations. You create something with foil and then crumble it up and then create it again. Or you can create something with Play-Doh or clay and then crumble it up and recreate it, yes? And it's the same thing. So the best way to describe it, and I used to have one of these, it's somewhere in my boxes of stuff, but we moved almost recently, months ago. But anyway, there's these toys, and they're like, they're about like a square, kind of like that, rectangle, I guess. And there's all these pins in them, and you put your hand in. Do you know the one I'm talking about? And then out pops the shape of your hand. Wow, it's like that. It's like that. So the regular, consistent patterns of thought that you're having are coming into form in the same way that when you put your hand into the pins, it creates an imprint. And so it reminds us to really be mindful of what we're creating, because this is happening whether we're conscious of it or not. And so the thoughts that are coming to us, maybe sometimes we have thoughts that are fearful, we don't want to take action, we're afraid to move forward, or otherwise, right? There's something that's stopping us, or we think we're not enough, or we have a limiting belief or otherwise that prevents us from being all that we came here to be. Are you with me? Right, and so that keeps us from thinking the thoughts of what we actually want. And so instead, what's happening is those thoughts are going into the space and providing us more opportunities to see, oh, how much we're not enough, right? And we don't want to keep creating that. We're called to create the life we love. And so all of us are here. I know we're already on our way to doing that. And just as Bob sang about this morning, this is all stuff we already know. And we're just remembering it, right? We're just remembering and bringing our attention to it, our conscious awareness to it, so that we can bring that into our life and bring it into action and have it come into form, yes? And so the thought that is impressed into this substance reveals itself as the thing impressed, all right? So what you're thinking about consistently is creating your experience for you. You are a divine elephant, not an ant. So stop trying to live in an anthole. What would you love to create? What would you love to create? What do you want to experience for yourself and your life? And remember, you can have low calibration questions and high calibration questions, right? So the questions that we're asking ourselves, what would I love? And then listen for the answer. And it's not like whatever it is that you love that comes to you for that moment, it's not like that's the only thing that you get to experience and co-create with the beloved. I mean, it can just keep coming, right? And so you're encouraged to really try this at home, my friends. Don't wait. And that's really what today's about, taking action and using these tools in our lives. I think sometimes, we've been trained maybe somehow to believe that this is for, the monks in the ashram or whatever, and we don't really know that we can pull this down into our everyday living and use it in our lives, but that's what we're doing. That's what this is all about. And so I want to share the full Wallace Wattles quote that says, "There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. A person can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created." Whoa, right? We need that on an index card to just pull out, because whatever it is that you're wanting to create for yourself in your life, what they're saying is you can. Whether you want a new car, a new house, a prince, a princess, a palace, a parking space, as they say, or you want to, enhance your relationship or go deeper with your relationship with the divine. Or maybe you want to be peaceful and learn how to bring more peace into the world. Or maybe you're about love and you want to be love and you want people around you to be inspired to feel that love and to experience that love. And how do you go about that, right? And so a person can form things in their thought, and by impressing their thought upon the formless substance can cause the thing they think about to be created. And so we've got to do this without a doubt, right? And we'll talk more next week. We're wrapping it up with something I love, and it's called "We Will Decline to Be Discouraged." Yes. We will decline to be discouraged, because sometimes if it's not looking the way you think the picture in your mind is, we can get discouraged, can't we? Or we get discouraged by the news and the headlines and what's going on in the world. But if we are a stand for peace, we will decline to be discouraged, and we will continue to know peace and take action and listen to the divine, which is within us, which is our soul, right? We'll listen and take the next action and the next action so that we can become the peace that we wish to see in the world. Yes? Yeah. So Andrew Carnegie was very, very wealthy, and there's something that I read about this last week called the Carnegie Secret, which is also talked about in a lot of these prosperity books. And so the Carnegie Secret is the freedom that one has to create their own destiny, because one has the power to think and direct their thought to any direction they want. It's also revealed in this statement: whatever the mind can conceive, it can achieve. And that is so true. And so Neville Goddard observed something similar. He said, "The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention, firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness." What? That's powerful, right? That's what we're up to, affirmations and prayers and, reading our spiritual study and coming here on a Sunday. We're all about filling our mind with this beautiful stuff and this bliss and universal truth and universal principles. By that, I mean spiritual principles that aren't dependent upon a certain religion. Spiritual principles are the universal principles. The universal principles are the principles that are true regardless of religion. And they're just true everywhere, right? Love, for example, And so we're learning these and studying these so that we can really get these until all of a sudden we're living it and we're it. Have you noticed that that's how it works? Like, I've been so into books, and I can read books. I remember when I first got into recovery, and I wanted every book there was about it. I saw every single movie, listened to every single, what are the guys? The tapes? Joe and Charlie, they were tapes back then. Yep, showing my age. They cassette tapes, right? Yeah. And listened to everything, and I was hungry. What was their secret? How were they getting this? What was happening? And I had all the books, read all the books, but then I came to the edge, And then I kind of had to jump off, and it was like the edge was for me, okay, what do I believe? Who or what is the God of my understanding? And what is it about, right? And so then I dove into spirituality, and it was like trying to learn everything about that. And that just keeps unfolding, doesn't it? It's like forever and ever expanding. Hi, Shelly B. Forever and ever expanding. And it is so beautiful. And the point of all that is that we study and study and study, and then suddenly our life begins to reveal the fruits of what we've learned, because we study it and then we live it, and we study it and then we live it, and then we study it and then we live it. It's a practice, in other words. It's not like we just study it and then that's it. We study it and we put it into action. We study it and we put it into action. If we're not putting it into action, then we're not going to see the results in our lives. And so whatever the mind can conceive, it can achieve. And now, I don't know about you, but something I learned early on in my studying of spiritual truth, universal principles, was that wherever I was, whatever was happening for me, because I had some bad days back then in the beginning, right? But opening these books and starting to read the books, it was like already I was changed. I felt like just reading the words, I was vibrating at a different frequency. Something was happening. And so then I began to look forward to reading the books, because I don't know who that girl was, but she was thinking about drama and all sorts of interesting, not interesting things, really, you know? And so it's so beautiful. So the great secret is a controlled imagination. And so I started to use that as a tool in my life whenever I was starting to get in a particular way, a little wobbly, pick up a book and just start reading. Because I also had learned you can't hold two thoughts at once. You can't. You can't hold two thoughts at once. And so it is that easy to just pick up a book and start reading it, to transform your thinking and transform your frequency and vibration. Now, I love what the Japanese proverb states: vision without action is a daydream, and action without a vision is nightmare. Yeah. But Mary Manning Morrissey says that inspiration without action is entertainment. And so that, we get inspired with ideas, or Spirit drops these seeds into our consciousness, and then maybe we just let them go. But we're called to write these down, and go back, and we can look at these seeds at another time and decide, like, which one of these is really like electric for me? What's happening that is what's resonating with me that I want to create in my life? You with me? And so we left off last week with the story about Genevieve Berand, and from our book of the month, which is Your Invisible Power, which is our gift to you. So if you haven't picked it up, we have a few left, and you can pick it up over at the info table this morning. And if you get there and there aren't any, just put your name down and we'll get one ordered for you for next Sunday. But we left off, isn't this a great book? This is packed. Now, this is a book you can leave in the glove box of your car, and you might want to get a couple more and have one here and there. And it's just one of those books you can pull out and read and just have it transform you, remind you of the power that you are, of the power that exists within you. It's so brilliant. And so we left off last week with the story about how she attracted to herself $20,000 to travel to England so that she could ask Thomas Troward if he would accept her as his student. And so we talked about creating a mental picture last week. And that was really what she did was every night before she went to sleep, she made a mental picture of the desired $20,000 by counting out 20 imaginary $1,000 bills in her mind, right? And then she would see in her mind's eye herself buying her steamer ticket. And then she would also see in her mind's eye walking on the deck and walking up and down the ship as it went from New York to London. And then she finally saw herself being accepted as Thomas Troward's pupil. Now, Thomas Troward didn't have any students. He didn't operate that way. He wasn't that kind of teacher. So she declined to be discouraged, though, right? And so she kept this Thomas Troward quote in the back of her mind the entire time as she went over that mental picture in the morning and at night. And the quote was, "My mind is a center of divine operation. My mind is a center of divine operation. My mind is a center of divine operation." Your mind is like the manufacturing plant, right? So if your mind is the manufacturing plant and you're creating this mental picture and putting it, it's like you're dropping it in. If you imagine, I just had the visual of like Peeps getting popped out and put into a package. It's like that, right? Your mind is the center of divine operation, counting out the $20,000 bills, and they're plopping into the package for you. It's like a cartoon or something. But the full Thomas Troward quote I want to share with you this morning goes like this: "My mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth." So let's unpack that real quick. My mind is a center of divine operation. We know what that means. There's a manufacturing plant, and this divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And so it's always available and open to create something new, right? Something greater than what has gone before. The production of something beyond what has gone before. Something entirely new. Not a better past, right? Not a better of that, whatever that is. You know what I mean? Something that you can't even imagine. That's how Spirit works. The production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. There's a great example of this. Last Sunday we had our soul support team meeting, and Ann Hanneline has been doing the weekly Wednesday meditation at 8 a.m. in the morning for, I think she said 15 months. Wow. And so she feels complete with it. And so we're going to be wrapping that meditation up at the end of October. So you have a couple more weeks to attend, but she was feeling complete with it. And then it was interesting because somebody said, "Oh, well, don't you want to see if anyone else wants to take the place of it?" And I was very clear, like Spirit was very clear that no, my mind is the center of divine operations. So we want to make space for something entirely new to be created. Maybe it's a different day, a different time, a different teacher, a different something. Maybe it's still Ann at a different day. You know what I mean? Like if we try to just make this same thing happen, it's just creating this new. Are you with me? Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so that was so powerful, and it was very clear it's that same thing, right? So we're not, Michael Beckwith says, it's not creating a better, it's not creating a better thing that has already gone before. It's brand new, right? And so sometimes that can stop us, can't it? Like we are stopped in our thinking because we can't quite imagine it, but we're called to move forward in a particular way, and so we take the next steps. And then Spirit will always show us what that next step is, right? And that is our calling to have trust and faith and to take the next step without knowing. You know, just like when you're driving your car in the dark, you can't see things only as far as your headlights go, right? But you don't stop driving, do you? No. You can't see it. You just keep going, expecting that it will be lighted. The same is true for your vision and what's happening in your life, right? And so something entirely new. Now, Genevieve said it took about 6 weeks for her, for that $20,000 to arrive into her bank account by the time she started working with this, right? And now fast forward to page 62 of your book. There's only 90 pages in this book or so. 62, page 62 is what we're looking at today. Oh, goodness, look at the time. What? So everything is created twice, first of all. So Genevieve practiced with her mental picture until it became her reality, and she traveled to England. Boom, all right? She had been writing these letters to Troward and expressing her desire to become his student, and she never received a single reply from Troward. Not one single reply, but she declined to be discouraged. And so she wrote one more letter and finally received a reply. And it was courteous and positive, but it was basically him saying, I don't take pupils. I have no time to devote to a pupil. And this was a definite decision of his, and she could sense it. Again, she declined to be discouraged, right? She was already there in England. And so she reached London, and then she telegraphed Troward and asked him for an interview. And the telegram was promptly answered, and they set a date when he would see her. And so she arrived at his place in a rainstorm and talked with Troward, who spoke freely about everything you could imagine, everything except her proposed studies, right? And so as she was leaving, she was inspired to bring it up once again. Would you not reconsider your decision to take a personal pupil? And he once again told her, I cannot commit to giving the time required for a personal instruction. And here's a few books that you could read to get you going, right? Read these few books. And she's like, okay. So he did tell her, you can write to me after you get to Paris, because she was going over to Paris, and perhaps they'll arrange something later, which is kind of like, if you really want this, wait, and we'll see what happens, right? So she followed up with letters immediately, right? She didn't wait months and months, but she got to Paris and started writing letters to him. And they were always promptly and courteously answered. And so, alas, there was a letter that had this question for her. And he said, what do you suppose the meaning of this verse in the 21st chapter of Revelation is? And here's the verse. And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are all equal. She instinctively knew that her chance to study with Troward was hinged upon her giving the correct answer to that question, right? And so off she went on her little journey of following the spiritual breadcrumbs. She didn't know how she was going to come up with the answer, but she went to bookstore after bookstore to try to find the answer, and she ran into someone eventually who was a professor, and he was a professor of astrology, and so she tried to sign up to get a horoscope reading from him, and he agreed, but it's something he never does, and so anyway, he knew the answer, and he said, the city signifies the truth, and the truth is non-invertible. So every side from which you approach it is exactly the same. Powerful, yes? So she immediately wrote to Troward with her answer. She didn't wait. She had the answer to the question, and he immediately replied saying, you are correct, and invited her to his lectures and then to study under him. This man doesn't take students. How awesome is that, right? And so the question was, what do you suppose is the meaning of this verse? And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth, and he measured the city with the reed. I'm repeating this because it's so important. 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are all equal. So with all of that said, if there are any of you who really want to go to Bali and have chosen not to because you can't you don't see the money in your bank account right now, this is an opportunity for you to use this little book as a guide, right? So if you want to go to Bali, it's a great opportunity to make it welcome. Use the tools. You know how much money you're going to need, about $6,000. Bob, we're going on a pilgrimage to Bali, in September of 2025. And so a little less than 6,000, all right? So you imagine counting it over nightly and in the morning while keeping the words in the back of your mind. My mind is the center of divine operation. My mind is the center of divine operation, right? And then you might as well try it. I mean, what have you got to lose? Nothing. There's nothing to lose, absolutely nothing to lose. Only gains, right? And you can apply this to whatever in your life that you want to experience. So Bali keeps coming up because we have 11, almost 12 signed up, and we need 16 to have it be an absolute go. And so I know it's happening, but it's like, I'm waiting to see who the other people are going to be, right? And it's kind of a fun thing, but honestly, in me, I already know we're going. Like, I can see us at the airport together and landing in Bali and having this amazing spiritual pilgrimage experience that is beyond what we could have even imagined. So amazing. And so you might as well try it, right? What have you got to lose? I remember being in Landmark Education. Have any of you heard of Landmark or done Landmark classes? And so at the end of one course, they wanted me to sign up for the next course. And I'm like, is this some kind of scam or something, right? What's happening here? I wasn't one enough. But they wanted me to sign up for this other course. And then they asked me, do you really want to do it? I said, well, yeah, I don't have the money. It's $250. I don't have the money right now. And they said, they were like, it's really easy. You throw your hat over the fence and then you go get the hat. Yes? So I'm like, okay, right. So friends, you might as well try this. What have you got to lose? Nothing, absolutely nothing. You only have gains. And so that summarizes the week for us. Try this at home, right? If you only remember one thing from this talk, remember the meaning of the 16th verse of Revelation 21. The city signifies the truth, and the truth is non-invertible. Every side from which you approach it, it is exactly the same. Exactly the same. And now, wrapping it up here with Actionize, all right? So, how many of you have heard of the Wonder Twins? No? Okay, thank you, brother. The Wonder Twins. So the Wonder Twins were cartoon characters when I was growing up, and actually they are still cartoon characters, and they were extraterrestrial twins, right? A twin brother and sister superhero duo named Zan and Jaina. And so they can activate their superpowers by touching their fists and saying the phrase, Wonder Twin powers, activate. And in the cartoon, one can transform into an animal, and the other can become a state of water, so water in any state. Now, we're going to create a new version of the Wonder Twins here because we can, and we're going to endow them with the power to create whatever they want for themselves in their lives, okay? And so I invite you to turn to the person next to you and find someone that you can partner up with. If you are in a row with someone far away. Let's see, once everybody has someone. You too. Okay. All right, you're going to touch fists. We're going to practice, okay? And so you're going to touch fists and repeat after me. Wonder Twin powers, activate. And then one of you is going to say, form of, and you're going to say, form of whatever the thing is in your life that you're looking to experience. Form of $6,000, form of best-selling author, form of a new car, or shape, and the other person will say shape of, and it could be shape of courting the divine, or shape of inner peace, or vibrant health, or whatever it is for you, right? Okay, so it's going to be Wonder Twin powers activate, Person 1 says form of and fill in the blank, and person 2 says shape of and fill in the blank. All right, so repeat after me. Wonder Twin powers, activate. All right, and now turn to another person and do it. Wonder Twin powers, activate. Find another partner. Here we go. Wonder Twin powers, activate. Form of love, shape of beauty. One more, find one more partner to share with. Wonder Twin powers, activate. Form of vibrant health, shape of plenty of rest. All right, friends. Woo! Yeah, sure. Awesome. How did that feel? How did that feel, you guys? Amazing, yes? Now, the question for you is, what is the first action for you to take on this activation? What is your first action to take? Now, to wrap it up, friends, you might as well try it. You have nothing to lose. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You might as well try this at home. Try this at home. That summarizes this week for us. Do more than study and learn it. Use these tools in your daily life. The truth is non-invertible. Every side from which you approach it is exactly the same. And remember, my mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression, and this means the production of something beyond what has gone before. Something entirely new, not included in past experience, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. It doesn't serve you or the world to play small. You are not an ant. You are a mighty, magnificent, mystical being of light and love who landed on this planet to experience something wonderful. Now, ask yourself these questions this week. Where in my life have I forgotten who I am? A divine elephant, and I'm trying to live in an anthole. And what is one action I can take this week to move me in the direction of my dreams? And 3, find a friend who can be your wonder twin. And practice activating your invisible power, which is a non-invertible truth. It's the same from whichever side you approach it. Let's take a deep breath together. And join me in turning your attention inward. And allow the sound of the guitar music to take you on a journey. A journey inward. And as we return to that beautiful, expansive space within, we remember it's the space that spans beyond the myriad universes. Eternal, vast, mighty, and magnificent. And in this space, I know that I experience beauty and love, wholeness, peace, perfection, all the good that Spirit is. Everything I imagine for myself in my life is already happening. Everything happens twice. Everything is created twice, once in the mind and once in physical form. And so I know that for each one of us, as we go forward from here, we are each experiencing the thoughts that we seek to experience. And there may be a disconnection from the divine. That was such a powerful thing that just happened. Sometimes you may feel yourself disconnect, and it's no problem. You can reconnect. And in that connection, there is that feeling and sense of love and beauty and wholeness beyond your wildest imagination. And I know that each one of us remembers the power that we have to create. And we know that we know. My mind is the center of divine operation. Wonder Twin Powers, activate. My mind is the center of divine operation. Wonder Twin Powers, activate. My mind is the center of divine operation. Wonder Twin Powers, activate. And in that activation, something is happening. Something is happening. New worlds are being created, right? Something wonderful is happening. And you are co-creating the life that you would love to live. And perhaps you're living the life that you would love to live already. And you get to expand on that and increase and welcome more good than you could have possibly imagined. So we're saying yes. And thank you, Spirit, for all that we have. And we're grateful for so much more. And I know it is already done. And I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for all the good in my life and for all the good in each one of our lives already. And I'm grateful for the invisible blessings that are on their way. Those blessings that we didn't even know were coming. And they're on their way to us now. And what a beautiful thing it is. And I'm already grateful. I appreciate it. And I appreciate this life. I'm grateful for all the good. I'm grateful for this life. It is so good. And God is so good in my life. And so with great gratitude, I can now give thanks and release my prayer, knowing it is so. And I invite you to help me anchor this truth by saying with me, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Travis. All right.
So I took notes and intend to take the experience later at the concert to just be really an extension of this talk in song form, because I wrote down like 7 songs I want to play. I only have time for one right now, but come to the concert. And I love that line that says, you can only hold one thought at a time. Isn't that just, I heard someone once say you can chase 2 rabbits, you catch none. And so if you feel that when you have a beautiful talk like that, and sometimes it's almost overwhelming. So just a little medicine for you to take those Wonder Twin Powers home with you. First your heart goes cold, then your stare goes long. The fire in your eyes, the burning desire left long ago. As you were living your life for everyone else, you were holding the weight of this whole wide world all by yourself. And these mountains that you carry on your back, you were but it was never enough to please the one in your head that scares you half to death, the one that doesn't exist. It's only up in your mind, the one that drains your cup and always puts you back at the end of the line. But these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. From the day you were born, your path was already known, and it was one hell of a climb, and yours to do was take it one step at a time. And these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. In these mountains, in these mountains, these mountains, these mountains that you carry on your back, you were only supposed to climb. Thank you.
Wow. I love that. These mountains you carry on your back, you're only meant to climb them. Wow, so good. Thank you. Thank you. All right, my friends. First, it occurred to me that I forgot to give our shout out to Shannon, who's the other half of Where the Light Gets In. Shannon Plummer, if you're watching, we love you. We'll get you here next time. You and Bob together, yeah. And so there's that. And then I also don't want us to forget to mention that Bob's got some merchandise over here on the table. One thing that keeps drawing my attention are these spiritual cards. I love cards. If you know me, you know I love cards. But it's about the spirituality of music, right? Oh, they're so good. Check those out. All right, it's time now for our conscious giving. And so will the ushers please come forward? And for those of you who are watching us on the Love Stream, you can make your donation by going to paypal.me/awakeningways. If you're in the room and you forgot to bring your cash or check, you can use the QR code on the back of the program to scan. And come on up into the front, you two. Yeah. So we have Jen and Mary. Thank you both for being in service today. Let's give them some love. Can you come over here a little closer? A little closer? There we go. Yeah. All right. So I invite you all to take your gift and place it over your heart. And please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. And returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you.
It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. You can sing it. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's another day under the same sun. It's another day to lean in and claim some. It's another day to be bold, brave, and unafraid. It's another chance to change direction. Move the arrow, a course correction. Be an instrument, be the change and move out of the way. It's time. 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 Should we keep going? It's time. It's time. Come on, sing it. It's time. It's time. It's time. Come on. It's time. 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 It's time.
Oh, and so I'm just so grateful for these wonderful gifts that we have been blessed with today, and I know that each and every gift spreads love and abundance to those in need, as well as our own spiritual center here. It's just a ripple effect that just goes outward into our community, and we're just so grateful for all that has been given here, and so it is.
Now it's time for our announcements.
Hello, beloveds. Oh, my goodness. You're just so awesome. I mean, really, honestly, I don't know about you, but I've had this little lump in my throat and this little happy tears. This is not sadness, but it's like feeling moved. I feel so moved. We are so blessed to have you. And you know that Bob is staying here to do a concert for us right here in this room. If you didn't know that and you weren't planning on it, plan on staying. We have a potluck. There's plenty of food. Even if you didn't bring anything, stay and eat and stay for this concert. We're asking $20, but if you want to just stay. We love you. There are angels in the room that are paying for extra tickets, okay? All right, you with me? All right. Now, regarding our Echo meal, we have all of our Sloppy Joe makers. If you're a Sloppy Joe maker, you should know that we are ready for next Thursday to take the food to Echo by 4:30. I have information about this, and so does Carol Ann Jones. Both us Joneses, we can tell you the address and what to do and how to bring the food. I believe we have enough people for salad as well. And today I found out who is bringing the dessert because I had forgotten. Woo! So I think that we're all set. We do, if you are planning to bring food, we could use a couple more servers if you'd like to stay and serve. We have 2 people. Echo would love to have 4 if possible. So or even if you're not bringing food, if you would like to come and serve, awesome. You are welcome to do that. See me or see Carol Ann after the service. In your program, there's this form. We've been talking about this form this month. We won't do this every single week. I'm just doing this in October. If you would fill out your contact information, if you haven't done so in the last couple of weeks, just do it again now so that we make sure we have your information. And we're collecting birthdays, just the month and the day, if you wish, so that... Oh, that's right. Reverend Elizabeth's birthday is Wednesday. Right. All right, so you can just hand those to Joy or to me after the service. Okay, calling all talented people near and far. Your artistry is requested on November 17th for goods to be donated for sale to raise funds for our beloved Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living. Our Makers Market table will bring painters, crocheters, carvers, jewelry makers, knitters, weavers, and candlestick makers. Whatever your art or craft, we invite you to help us make the most beautiful table for this year's Love's Table meal. So on November 17th, we'll be having our Love's Table potluck, and we're going to have the Makers Market Fair as well. So we have a sign-up sheet at the table over there if you'd like to sign up to bring something that you create to add to this beautiful table. And then our book of the month, we've been talking about this, Your Invisible Power by Genevieve Berend. We have some copies back here, but if we run out of them today because they are for free, they're for you, just give your name to Joy and we will order more. So we'll have more next week. And finally, a big shout out to our volunteers and staff that make this whole thing possible. We love you.
All right. Okay, friends, let's circle up for our benediction and call and response. I'm grabbing one of these because I'm going to buy one. Hey. Oh, I'm not holding hands. All right, won't you know with me that you are never alone? Oh, let's get Ethel and Sheila in here. Come on in, honey. Yeah. Hey. Sheila, where are you going? Oh, bye. She got to go. Okay, bye. All right. Won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always. And all that you ever need do is look within, and it is here you will find you are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. It is this thing called life. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my body. Life is in my pocketbook. Life is in my relationships. Life is everywhere. I think it. I feel it. I believe it. I express it. I accept it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. All right.
Wow. I get to follow that. That was amazing. I'm still swimming in that energy, but real quick, I just want to say thank you to you, Reverend Elizabeth, and to you, Travis, just in front of the whole community. These two are absolute gems. They're international people that their presence is everywhere, and they represent this center incredibly well. And stand here is a full circle moment. From the first time we met, I saw you. I'm like, where are you guys? I want to play there. And I'm finally here, and I wanted to say, you previewed it. My wife Shannon's not here. I can count on one finger the number of concerts I've played without her. And this is it right here. So it's going to be very special, maybe a little emotional for me because she's not here. But I'm excited I can talk about her, and she can't say anything, so it's perfect. But look, I have a really limited supply of stuff. I have 10 albums. I couldn't bring it all with me. This is the only event I'm doing in California. I'm here for a retreat. So come grab it. Already one missing card deck. But and I don't have a mailing list, but I have a QR code. You can just QR code everything. We have a retreat in Mexico, but don't sign up until your Bali trip's full. So it's in March. But anyway, thank you, thank you, thank you. And this apparently is your theme song, I've heard. It sounds like it, maybe. With our eyes wide shut in the still of the night, we sit and hold the vision. When the fears burn wild, we don't run and hide. We see a world with no division. We see with one love, one heart, one drum beating to a song that's singing us home. We dance in white light under the starlight. We are the sacred seeds of the sound of Om. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. And we can go higher, hands up, higher, higher still. And we can get louder, 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 yes we will. We can go higher, higher, higher still. And we can get louder, 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 yes we will. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. We are the lovers and the leaders. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om Shanti Om. And we say, Aho, Amen, Om. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll see you at the concert.